Thank you for joining our webinar today, where we'll be focused on helping you understand how artificial intelligence technologies can be leveraged to improve your overall project management using Microsoft technologies such as Copilot and Planner. This session is based upon your feedback over the last few months in terms of content you requested. We're excited to show you the latest and greatest with you on this topic. Let's get started. My name is Annie Lavand, and I'm with a Microsoft PPM partner called Pragility. We've been implementing Microsoft project and portfolio management solutions and developing enterprise-level applications for over 20 years for large enterprises, including everything from engineering, constructions, IT, and new product development. PMOs and CIOs typically come to us when they can't easily explain what's going on across all their projects. They don't know what resources are working on what work, and they have a hard time getting consistent reports and metrics to make project-based decisions. We're known for having a 98% on time, on budget track record for successfully implementing these solutions for clients. We offer services and solutions in 3 core areas: deployment and consulting services for Pragility's core business. We provide professional services for successfully planning and implementing Microsoft Project Portfolio Management, including Microsoft Project Online, Project Server SE, Planner Premium, and integrating PPM with line of business applications and delivering strategic portfolio management solutions to support top-level management planning. Pragility also offers a set of Hammerhead pre-built software solutions and accelerators based upon 20 years of experience, including a set of Hammerhead solutions that provide improved access to your cloud PPM data, accelerate access to visual reports and dashboards using Power BI, connect data between your PPM system with Microsoft Teams, and extend connectivity into Active Directory to improve visibility, insight, and control over your work, people, and projects. New to our offerings is Hammerhead PowerPro, which is a pre-built solution crafted on the foundation of the Microsoft Power Platform and Planner Premium. This offering is designed to bring some of our lessons learned from this platform to your organization. Finally, Pragility provides post-implementation support services, including expert care, designed to assist your PMO gaining on-demand expertise on the solution supported. We have a full online automated e-learning offering that can improve consistency and adoption for your users of your project management tools. You can learn more about all of our services and solutions on our website, pragility.com. On our next featured webinar, which will be held on Tuesday, February 12th, we'll be digging into how modern PMOs are leveraging Microsoft solutions to improve visibility, insight, and control over their portfolio. We'll be covering the many different technology options, ranging from support for administrative PMOs to PMOs that need full portfolio governance, analysis, and resource optimization. Registration link is included here. You won't want to miss this great session that will assist with helping you understand how to map your maturity to the available solution options built on Microsoft technology. All videos from this and previous series are available on our best practice playlist on YouTube listed on this page. Topics range from managing your digital transformation program using PPM technologies to integrating PPM with agile line of business applications. Feel free to subscribe and access the library at any time and share with your colleagues. With that, I'd like to introduce our speaker, Brice Center, a senior consultant here at Pragility. Brice has been a professional project manager for over 20 years and has been working with Microsoft PPM and project management solutions since 1994. As a Microsoft certified professional, he has a deep background in project, SharePoint, and Power Platform technologies required for both traditional and modern PPM. Brice is based outside of Boston. Brice, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Annie. Welcome, everyone. My name is Brice Center. Annie just introduced me, and I'll go ahead and dive into our presentation today. So we're here to learn about the AI options that are available in Planner Premium specifically. So the agenda will be, first I'll give a quick orientation just to get terminology and everything correct and user interfaces and plan types and what we'll be looking at today. Then I'm going to give you an overview of all the different AI options that are available for Planner Premium. Then I'm going to demonstrate all of those AI options so you can see how to use them. I'll briefly talk about our Hammerhead PowerPro configuration accelerator that expands Planner Premium into a full PPM solution. and also helps to take better advantage of some of the AI features. Then we'll talk about where to find help, and then have a Q&A at the end that I can then take and answer some of the questions if there are any. So first off, let's do a quick orientation. Mainly, we're focused here on what the plan types are and what the user interfaces for using Planner Premium are. First, we'll talk about plan types. There are 3 types of plans available in the Planner Cloud interface. So Planner Cloud interface, we'll learn momentarily, is mainly just the typical planner.cloud.microsoft interface that you go to as like the default planner interface. And in there, you can create 3 different types of plans. One is the basic plan. That's your standard planner with no scheduling engine behind it. It's really just a task list with a board view. We aren't really talking about that today. This focus is going to be on Planner Premium. And the premium plans add that scheduling engine in a Gantt style interface, and it allows for task interdependencies and additional features. It behaves a lot more like a traditional Microsoft project. Then there's this new option called Plan with Project Manager, which is an AI project manager. It's a premium plan, but it actually has specific additional features that utilize the project manager agent in predefined ways. So premium plans, we're here to talk about the premium plans and the plan with the project manager. You'll hear me refer to the plan with project manager as plan with PMA standing for project manager agent, and then the regular premium plans as well. Now, there are AI features in both, but there's just an expansion of the AI in the specialized plan with project manager. So let's talk about user interfaces now, like where we can get these different AI tools. So the Planner Cloud interface is the typical Planner interface that if you're trying to find Planner, you'll go to your app launcher. Some people call it the waffle board in the upper left corner of any Microsoft screen. And you would click on Planner, and this is where you'd land. And the web address is planner.cloud.microsoft. So that's what I refer to as the Planner Cloud interface, effectively the default interface for Planner. Additionally, you have the ability to access the Planner Power app. That is actually the underpinnings of Planner Premium. The Planner Power app in the standard form doesn't have really anything additional above and beyond what you'd find in the Planner Cloud interface. However, it does have, the Copilot for Power Apps, which we will be exploring today. However, to take full utilization of the Copilot for Power Apps AI features, it's best to have a configuration in your Power App. And that's where Pragility PowerPro can help. We have an accelerator that basically takes standard Power Planner Premium and turns the Power App version of it into a full PPM solution. So PPM standing for Project and Portfolio Management. So it adds the ability to organize things across programs, deal with project intake, deal with life cycles. We have a full 23-page report, 23 report pack, and a whole bunch of other features we'll talk about more. But the point is that by expanding that, it gives Copilot for Power Apps a lot more data to be able to analyze, crunch, and manipulate for you. So we will be doing our demonstrations today in our PowerPro Accelerator for the Power Apps portion of this. So in each interface, we're going to talk about what the different AI features are that are available in each interface. So we have different ones for each interface. They all have their own unique benefits and capabilities. The one in Planner Cloud interface is called the Project Manager Agent. It's a specialized version of Copilot that understands Planner and has some basic information around that and can execute commands and prompts in the context of Planner. Power Apps has Copilot for Power Apps, which, again, as I mentioned, our PowerPro solution enhances this because it gives it more data to work with and organizes that data in a project and portfolio management way. And then finally, Power BI. If you happen to be reporting on your planner plans with Power BI, then you can utilize Copilot for Power BI. So let's fill in the empty space on this slide here. The Project Manager Agent, or PMA, in the Planner Cloud interface has multiple components to it. It has the chat feature. And just to reiterate, everything in the Planner Cloud interface is really individual plan focus. So it operates within the individual plans, not across or among multiple plans. Then you have, as I mentioned, the specialized plan with PMA. And although you can do a lot with the PMA chat, and you can do kind of some similar things that you can do with the specialized features inside the plan with PMA, the plan with PMA has some specialized sub-agents, I call them, in the goals area. It can take a goal and generate tasks to meet that goal based on the goal description. You also have a status reporting sub-agent. Of course, you can ask the chat for a status report, but there's a specialized sub-agent that also can generate a status report for you. Then you have this ability to assign tasks to that project manager agent and have it complete those tasks. It's best done with things that are text-based, like documents, or things that need some research that are available, like on web-based research type of things. Then you have a feature which is whiteboard with Copilot. So whiteboard is available actually to everyone, but the PMA, or the plan with PMA, actually embeds a whiteboard as a tab in that particular plan type. And then it just gives you also a link to SharePoint. So it's just another unique element. It doesn't really have an AI element to it, but it just happens to be part of the plan with PMA, so I'm mentioning it. So now down in Power Apps, if we go to the Power App, we have a similar chat agent, basically Copilot, and you can ask it to do things across your database. So what's nice about that is now we're talking about a portfolio-wide agent that can analyze data and deal with data across the entire database. So among multiple plans, programs, issues, risks, whatever you happen to have configured in your Power App. Then you have a forms agent, also known as a data entry agent, that helps you to fill out forms based on some text that you might paste in or text from a document that you upload. And then we have data exploration agent, which allows us to visualize data and to filter data on tables. It's kind of like sort of like a mini Power BI report, but it's an ad hoc based on a prompt. So I'll show that as well. And then you have a summary agent, which it's a prompt-based AI again, but basically you tell it what kind of data you want a summary of for each plan in this case, or element in a system, and it will go and gather that data and kind of present it in a summary format. You'll see it's nice to be able to quickly gather critical information off of like a plan or project. And then Copilot. Oh, I meant to mention this. Some of these Power Apps features need to be turned on individually in the environment. It may be that your particular tenant does not have those as default on, so you would need to go into the Power Apps environment and turn those on. We can always help with that if you want to approach us. But down into the Copilot for Power BI, there's a chat agent there as well. I will not be able to demonstrate that today, but it does exist. I will talk about it. All the rest of this I will be demonstrating today. And one important note is sometimes people think of AI and they think of an autonomous entity, but that is not what we're dealing with here. We don't have autonomous entities that are, executing decision intelligence and actually, taking action on things autonomously. These are helper agents that are designed to respond to prompts or requests and then perform assistant type activities or data analysis type activities. So these are not autonomous agents, they are response-based agents. Or instruction-based agents, rather. So let's dive into a demo of the AI features. But first, I do want to talk about the slide you're going to see here. And there's a legend that you'll see at the top right of these slides. And what I'm trying to do with that legend is to indicate what interface we would be in to get this AI feature, and then what plan type that AI feature is available in. As you recall from the prior slide, there's certain elements that are only available in a plan with Project Manager in the default interface, for instance. Okay, so let's first talk about the Planner Cloud interface and the Project Manager agent, or PMA. So we're going to be in the Planner Cloud interface, the default Planner interface. The first thing we're going to do is set up a project, and just for the sake of speed on this webinar, I'm going to just go ahead and set up a full-fledged plan with Project Manager, which I will refer to repeatedly here as plan with PMA, just for brevity. And I'm going to do that in the Planner Cloud interface. So you'll notice my legend up here is telling us what we're about to do in which interface and what type. So let me do that, and then I'll pick back up where we were. So I'm going to go to the planner.cloud.microsoft interface. Again, to navigate here, in case you don't already know, you can go here and then either type Planner or find Planner here, and then it would bring you to planner.cloud.microsoft and land you here in the Planner Cloud interface. You click on New Plan, and here are the three types I mentioned. Basic is really a non-schedule list of tasks. This is the scheduling engine, and this is the scheduling engine plus additional AI. I will click on Plan with Project Manager, and I will go ahead and name this BC Webinar Project. Now, when you do have a PMA project, you do have to add it to a group. You don't have an option because it needs the SharePoint site to store assets and other parts of the AI features. So I'm going to go down and find my BC Webinar group, and I'm going to go ahead and let the project manager access all files, of course, because what that can do actually is the project manager having access to files helps it gain context on this plan as well. So if you have like business cases or various things in your site, it will know those things. And I will create this. Creates my plan. And it will eventually land here. Meanwhile, while it's doing that, I will go ahead and talk about what we're about to see. So first, we're going to talk about the goals subagent. So the purpose of the goals subagent is to describe a goal, and the PMA will generate tasks it thinks will meet that goal. Now, it may not be 100% accurate, but it might get you pretty close. The more detailed you are with the goal, the better the results will be. There's also here, I'll point it out later as well, but there's an add files button here, which again adds additional files for the context of your plan, which also helps to improve results that the goal subagent would be able to deliver. The tasks will also be set with dependencies within each other. So in other words, like a waterfall type of effect where you have a predecessor-successor relationship that will happen based on its intelligence, what it thinks needs to happen. And you can edit these tasks, of course. So anything that the PMA generates, you can edit and manipulate. So let's jump over back to the project here, which it looks like maybe because I left it, it went to sleep here. So let's reload it. There it is. So we have the BC Webinar project, and we will start on the Goals tab. So I will add a goal, and I will type in Develop Marketing Plan. I will hit Enter. And now I have this button here that says generate tasks with the project manager agent. So I will go ahead and click that button. Again, here's that add files. And if you see, if I hover on it, it says add files to guide all AI responses in this plan. So it helps to give context to the AI agent so that it's not giving you sort of more generic results. But for the sake of this demonstration, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go just take the generic results. So I'm going to generate tasks and the AI agent goes to work. The colored bar obviously is letting you know it's working. And it will come back with a list of tasks eventually. Hopefully soon. There we go. So now we have all these tasks that are associated to this goal. These tasks are obviously found, I'm assuming some basic level of knowledge about Planner Premium here, but we have all these other views across the top. And these tasks are also going to be shown in the grid view and the board view and the timeline view. And you can see there's predecessor-successor relationships based on what it thinks need to happen there. So of course, you're going to want to double check the AI's creations here and make sure that you agree with what it has put together. But it's a good jump start, basically. So that's one option. So let's try another goal here as well. So increase product revenue. And I'll hit enter and generate tasks. And it will go and create tasks for increasing product revenue. So I will demonstrate this when we get to the PMA chat feature, which is actually this little chat button down here. But the chat can also do this same activity. So even if you have a regular premium plan that already exists today, you can use prompts to execute the same activity. And I will show you how when we get to that. This is just an easy button, basically, to do that without a prompt. So now we've got all of those tasks here. They don't have any summary tasks or anything like that, but I'll show you again with PMA chat how you can help that if you're approaching it from that regard. That's basically it for the goals sub-agent. Again, just to reiterate, add a goal, generate the tasks. You can add files for context. Hopping back to our presentation, we have the status report sub-agent. So now there's a reports tab in each one of these plans with the PMA. This happens to also be available in premium plans. And actually, I just realized too that I'll just double back real quick. The goals one is also available in premium plans. That's actually brand new. It's a month or two ago, it was not there, and now it is there. So they are constantly changing things. Anyway, this is another one that's available both in premium plans and the plan with PMA. The project manager agent will generate a status report in a relatively predefined format using using info gleaned in a large language model style. So it's basically it kind of puts together a similar type of report for each plan. You can give it additional instructions. You can also edit the results of it afterwards. So yeah, user can edit content after the report is produced, and then the template, the quote unquote template format can't be directly modified, but you can influence it with prompts. And this is the process for basically how to do it. You click Get Started to begin generating a report from the Reports tab. You then pick the period and give any additional instructions. So that's where you would be able to manipulate what what you want to see. And then you click Generate. And then you'd review the content of the report afterwards and edit as desired. You can then distribute that, and it'll remain in your plan as well. So let's demonstrate that particular feature. Okay, go to the Reports tab, click Get Started. I want to report as of last week. Let me quickly go ahead and execute a couple of these, or just complete a couple of these so that we have some progress. and then just double check what I did there. Yep. And then go back to the reports, and then I'll say get started. And I'm not going to give any additional instructions. I'm just going to go ahead and click generate, but that's where you would be able to do so. And this will churn. And once this gets created, I'll go ahead and show you this again to save time. But once you get this status report created, there will be a button to be able to share it as a newsletter, and then even send it as an email. So when you finally get the newsletter generated, this is an example, it opens it up into this format here, and you can post and send, or wait a second, I think this got loaded. Let me check this real quick. There's a share button here that says send as email, and then you can send that as an email as well. So that's how you can distribute the status report once it gets created and you edit it the way you want to. Here's the project. It is still churning. So hopefully it completes soon. I'll just mention that the agent over here, the orb, as we call it, the PMA chat bot, can also generate you a status report. It's not quite the same format. It's also not done in a sort of document style here. It's done as in like a chat result that you would then cut and paste into a document. But here we go. This is finished, and you can come in here. You can actually edit this live if you want to, and change whatever you want to change on it. And you can see it's got some pretty good content in here. Obviously, you might be able to come up with some prompts to help it do a better job. And you can either discard it or keep it. So I'll go ahead and keep it. And then here's that button where it's share as a newsletter. If I do click it, it's going to take some time for it to generate. So like I said, it ends up looking like this. And then you have the option to post and send, or send as an email from there. Okay, moving on. The next feature that we have available to us in a PMA plan is assign tasks to the PMA, to the project manager agent. So you can actually assign a task either in the board view, grid view, or the goals tab to help you create a document for task deliverables. And so you'll assign the project manager to a task. Again, this works best for text-based type of deliverables, and then it will churn on it. You can either assign it here in a grid view, or you can assign it by dragging it in the board view. And it will work on a document for a while, and then it will basically attach results effectively to that task. And you can go in and afterwards actually and give it more instruction, like, hey, put an executive summary here at the top, for instance, and then you can click regenerate, and it will take those instructions and then regenerate the report with an executive summary at the top. Also, the notes that are in a task, which are, you can barely see them in this, I'm sure, but I'll show you in a moment here. Those notes help to guide the activity of the output. So any additional detail you can give in there is going to be helpful. And then, as we also learned, when you have documents in your associated to your plan that you've uploaded previously, it might use those for context as well. So there may be times when the project manager agent doesn't know exactly what to do, and so it asks for your input. And so it would end up in the needs your input area, and you'd get actually a Teams notification to let you know that it needs your input on something. And then once you give it the input, you push a button, and then it would go to churn on it again. And then once it's done, it would say ready for review, and then you'd be able to look at it and decide if it's a completed task or not. So let's demonstrate that. So I'm going to go to my board view. I like this way of doing it. I can just drag this over. Just to show you, though, you can go to the grid view as well, and you can assign the project manager agent here, or you can go to the goals view and find a task and assign the project manager agent here. But I'm going to do it from the board view because I like how it progresses across. And we'll take the I'll complete this one as well, and I'll take the develop marketing strategies and assign that to the project manager. Now, I completed that other task because if you do give it a task that isn't ready to be started yet because the predecessor tasks aren't done, it will tell you that. It'll, like for instance, if I pull down this one and I click into it, it's going to say project queued. Task is in queue. I'll start it once I complete the other tasks. Keep Planner open, and sometimes it also says that it can't start the task until the predecessor task is complete. So just keep an eye on that. Just because you put it there doesn't mean it's working on it yet until you see this working on it. And let's see if there's anything else I can talk about there. Yeah, so again, just to reiterate, this works well for document style deliverables that require perhaps some research or some, text-based activities. It does use the greater web to, assuming that that's allowed in your organization, to have Copilot go off and be able to gather information that way. And I believe it says so here. Project Manager Agent is using latest web content for improved results. And you can click on this. It's an admin setting, so it might be turned off in your environment, but it's on in ours. And again, the notes here, notice how there's some pretty specific instructions here. That is effectively the instructions that the AI is using to help inform its results here. So if you put more information in there, clearer instructions, you'll get better results. Great, so it just completed. I happened to be looking at it, so I didn't get the notification, but you would also see a notification pop up from Teams or from the app as well. In fact, I just heard it, so I believe in my Teams. That's hard for me to find right now. Anyway, it gives you a little activity notification. In any case, here's the result. So it tells you what it did, and then in here I can read it and decide if I like its content. I can edit it directly. I can give it more instructions. I can say things like put executive summary here, and then basically click regenerate, and it would go to work on that. So I'll launch that, but I'm not going to wait for it. So I can launch that, and it will go and work on it and regenerate it, and then it'll come back with an executive summary at the top. All right, so that's pretty neat, but we have a lot more to cover, so let's keep going. So after these, oh, yeah, no, I already mentioned that. So after that, we have the Project Manager Agent. Now, this is available in every plan that's, premium plan or plan with Project Manager. It is only available in the Planner interface, but you can open projects from the Power App into the Planner interface as well in case you want to utilize this. So it's an option that's available to everything basically. And it's this little orb thing. We call it the purple orb. And it's available in Planner Cloud interface on all premium plans. It only operates within individual plans. It can't do things across multiple plans. So it's not really a portfolio level AI. It's a plan level, a single plan level AI in the context of one plan. Takes text prompts and delivers output. There's a whole thing we can talk about prompt engineering. I will show you where to find some information about that so you can maybe learn more about that. But you can do specific plan-related actions like adding tasks, adding goals, generating status reports, etc. I'll demonstrate some of that. There are some limitations on what it can do, but potentially improving over time. So future is bright, hopefully. Let me demonstrate some of this for you. So if I go back to my plan and I go to maybe my goals tab right now, just as a home base here, and I'm going to open up my chat, PMA chat, and I'm going to give it a prompt that basically is add a goal of expand into new markets and add tasks to meet that goal. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. it's going to work on that. So again, this is kind of the same thing as me clicking add goal and then saying generate tasks. It's going to do effectively the same thing. And so that's what it's done. Expanded into new markets by launching products at least two. You can change that terminology or give it better instructions. And then it added all these tasks. And you can check that on the grid that they are going to be there. They start here. They actually have subtasks in this case. So that's one type of thing. I can also ask it to write a status report. I can give it very specific instructions like this. Give me a status report for this plan that includes progress, highlights, and risks. And then it will work on that. And gives me, some nice text that I could then cut and paste into some other document if I want to. So you can see it followed my directions and made a pretty nice format. You can then, this is nice. This chat feature is nice because it gives you other sort of suggested potential follow-on prompts. And these are cumulative prompts. So if you just did a thing, you can say, in the context of that thing, you can say, do additional stuff to what you just did. I'll demonstrate that shortly here. But let's just do something like this. List tasks due this week. And so it's going to go and it's going to list all the tasks that are due. You can also do things like summarize priorities for this week. And then there's a pretty neat one. This is tasks that are due this week. Get the idea with that one. Pretty nice. But there's another one to, it's like a daisy chain of things here. So we'll do recommendations to help me tackle this week's priorities. It's telling me what I should do to accomplish these tasks effectively. So there's a list of items there. And then I can create, from there, I could create a checklist for this week's tasks, draft a team update email for priorities, or suggest tools. So I'm just going to go ahead and draft a team update email, perhaps. And so it kind of gives me an email I might send to my team. So you can see it's kind of a cumulative type of effect here. And then I could add specific action items for each team member, personalize the email for regional teams, include deadlines, that sort of thing. Or you can come up with your own prompt too. So you get the idea. It builds on itself. So I'm going to give another example here where you'll notice that whenever you're doing the sort of traditional add a goal and some tasks thing, it's not giving you like a summary task to go with it. So what I found works most of the time is that a prompt like this, where you say, number one, add tasks and subtasks to meet a goal of make breakfast, and then associate all those subtasks to the goal, should go and create a goal with tasks to make breakfast and in the grid, put them all underneath a summary task. It isn't always 100% consistent, but it does a pretty good job most of the time. And for instance, in this case, it didn't actually follow through with making those tasks part of the goal, but I'll check the grid and I should see make breakfast down here. It didn't do it this time. So yeah, that is the problem. We'll try another one here. And we can actually do it this way. We can do in two steps. It seems to get confused sometimes with multiple steps. We'll add tasks and subtasks to meet a goal of right proposal. But you can see the breakfast things did get created there. So this takes a little bit of practice and it's probably always evolving, maybe getting better. So it's gone and created, so I'll say put those tasks under a main task called write proposal. It thinks it grouped them, but it didn't. It was working earlier today. Again, this is an evolving technology, so it's not quite consistent all the time. But let's try another way. Let's do a multi-pronged approach here, where we'll do write financial plan. Show subtask grouped by main task. Oh, it's not doing it quite right. There is a way to make it happen. I'll have to, I thought I had the prompt worked out, but not quite all the way. It's fine. But you see the idea. Once you get your prompts correct, you can get things to end up in the way you want them. So moving on, another nice feature here with the chat is you could do things like list unassigned tasks and suggest owners. But actually, I think what I like better, I should have done this one instead. I don't think I can stop it at that yet, but it does suggest owners because it thinks it knows things, but maybe that'd be nice if you had like perhaps a team roster and it would know what the different skill sets are of each person. But instead, you might put a prompt in that looks more like list unassigned tasks and identify what skill set the owners would need. And that is maybe a better way to go, because then you can think about your entire organization and then put the right person in the right place. All right, I need to keep rolling here so we get through the rest of this. So let's quickly talk about Whiteboard with Copilot. So back to the presentation. We have this whiteboard feature where it can suggest ideas and content, categorize notes, and summarize note content. I am going to move quickly through this because we are running out of time. So whiteboard, I can go here, I can do suggest, and I can write something along the lines of create notes, brainstorming ways we can increase revenue. I can insert those. I can then go back to Copilot and ask it to categorize those. And then I can go back to Copilot again and ask it to summarize them. And then we can see that we have categorized in notes and then summary of what was done. I'm going to keep moving past that. The last feature is the SharePoint link. Really, there's nothing AI about this. It's just a SharePoint link over to the SharePoint site that is containing basically all of the documents. You'll see the develop marketing strategy. Remember, I assigned that to the project manager agent. That is the result. Here's the whiteboard that we had. And then if you had a status report, they are also found in here as well under status reports. So all of the content is basically getting stored on your SharePoint site. That's the takeaway there. All right, let's quickly move into the Power Apps interface because there's some pretty cool stuff in there I want to show. So we're now going to be going into the Power Apps interface and looking at Copilot for Power Apps. We have the chat agent there. It's available in the model-driven app interface for all premium plans. It's Copilot for Dataverse or Copilot for Power Apps. It can analyze and summarize basic data across all plans. It takes text prompts, and you can do prompt engineering on this to help you. So let me jump down in there, and I will show you so this is the Power App, and each one of these is a plan. And I can take my Copilot over here, and I can say things like, whoops, trying to get my prompt in there. It keeps doing as an image. Okay, let's do, what are the projects with the top 3 highest budgets? And that's because in this PowerPro Accelerator that we have budget is a field that we collect. It's information that we collect. And we'll go and figure it out and realize that it tells you directly here what they are, but it also gives you links. So the Cloud Odyssey project, the digital identification verification platform, and the Project Phoenix are the 3 with the highest budgets, and you can see what they actually are up here. Pretty neat. I can see which project, and I can click on it, by the way, and it'll bring me right to the Cloud Odyssey project. So this, just to get people acclimated, this is the PowerPro Accelerator that has a lifecycle with deliverables in it, various pieces of metadata. You can capture risks and issues, status reports here as well, and a bunch of other great information. You can organize it all into programs. You can do intake with project requests. You have a full set of reports here that I'll demonstrate if I have time here shortly. But you get the idea. You can look for various pieces of information with the Copilot chat. It's pretty cool. So the next feature, again going a little faster due to time, is the data exploration agent. It's basically like a great way to filter your data and also generate some visualizations. It's available in the model-driven app. It filters, and the chart can actually be copied for insertion into a presentation or document. So let me quickly cover that. If I go back to my table of plans here, and I'll go to all plans, and I put in a prompt here of projects by lifecycle stage by department and hit enter. Data exploration agent builds the page. It goes and gets the information. If it needs to filter anything out, it will. In this case, I'm just asking it to organize the data. And it gives me a nice little chart on the side. And I can change the chart type. I can also change the data that the chart is looking at if I want to, in case it got my instruction wrong. And here's what's kind of cool too, is I can click on it like a Power BI sort of, and it will filter those 2 projects. Those 2 projects are these 2 projects. This project is that one is this one, so on and so forth. So you can find out what's what in your chart pretty quickly. You can also then copy that information and then paste it, for instance, into a PowerPoint presentation, which I'll just pretend to do here. And there's my chart. So that's pretty cool. And then you can actually switch to other views here. So like my active plans, and it keeps the same filter situation and visualization situation based on, now these are just the plans that I own, as opposed to all of the plans. So that's kind of neat too. Okay, next feature, quickly moving along, is the summary agent. Now, this one's available, again, all premium plans in the model-driven app. You can configure this to gather key information out of a project and present it right on the front page of like the table, basically. So let's do that quickly. I'll show you. I'll just clear this out just to make it less busy. And if I hover over here, for instance, on this little icon here, it says summary. If I click it, it's going to give me the information that we centrally configured to have it gather. I asked it to gather these pieces of information and also give me a summary of the business problem, proposed solution, and benefits and outcomes, which are data that were collected in the PowerPro system. And so you can also click into the project and it will generate that same information at the top. And you can see it here. And you'll notice that if I go to business case, that's where a lot of that data lives. This is where the business problem or opportunity is and the proposed solution. And it's taking that data and basically summarizing it in a quicker to digest format. Okay, next. the Copilot in Power Apps Forms agent. Now, this is pretty neat. It can ingest either text via copy paste or an upload of a document, and then you can accept suggestions individually or all at once. So if I pop over to my Power App again, and I go into a plan, we'll go into this testing request, and then I'll go into a status report, and I will go to new status report. And normally you'd have to sit here and you'd have to like pick your KPIs and fill it in all by typing it in. But let's pretend like I've got this email over here where someone emailed me a status report. And sorry, I'm actually going to do it from here. So we have a status report from the email. I'm going to copy and paste it. And assuming it has all the information, I'm going to click on this blue thing and paste it in there, and it's going to look for suggestions. By the way, if you don't happen to see the form assist, there's a button here that shows and hides it. But if you don't see it at all, it's because it's not turned on in your environment. And then so it's basically filled out my status report for me, which is really nice. And then I can just say accept all the suggestions, or you can do them one by one and suggest or deny them. You can go back and edit it if you want to. And then you can save and close, and then you'll have your new status report generated pretty quickly, assuming you're getting updates from team members or something like that. That can be used either with cut and paste, or there's also an upload button that can be used. The upload button, in case you're curious, is right here. Okay, moving on. The Power BI interface. So in Power BI, I don't have this. We don't have this turned on in our environment right now, but the Copilot button does exist in a Power BI workspace, for instance, and you can have it help you with your Power BI data. Okay, and then just one last discussion around the Hammerhead PowerPro. So as I mentioned, the out-of-the-box model-driven app, Power App for Planner Premium is pretty bare bones and doesn't have much going on. What we do with that, though, is we put an accelerator on top of it called PowerPro that gives capabilities or features within that Power App to manage things like risks and issues and changes, and also pull in status reports. You can do lifecycle management on a project and have different stages with different deliverables. And you can do project intake through it and turn a project request into an actual plan. You can organize your plans by program and have them organized that way, and then report on them. And we have 23 report pages that come with it as well. So just briefly showing you that. For instance, we have our plans here. We've seen that. If I pop into one, we have life cycle with different stages here and different deliverables that are required, approval steps, and so on and so forth. Lots of metadata to collect here. We have our business case. We have risks that it would be associated with it, and each risk has its own page that gives details about it. Similar for issues, changes. Status reports, I just showed an example, but you have the red, yellow, green, and you have the verbiage that goes into it. And then, of course, you have the schedule itself, which is effectively the Planner Premium interface baked into the model-driven app, where you can adjust your schedule and work with the board view, the timeline view, and so on and so forth. We also can organize our projects into programs. So these are all the programs inside of projects inside of the digital transformation program. We can do new project requests that would then have their own approval lifecycle to then get approved and turned into brand new plans based on this metadata. And then we have a series of reports that are very handy. Other environment here. So we have a series of reports that are very handy to analyze data, obviously in a way that's consistent. There's also link backs to the actual items in the system. You can look at health and status reports. You can click on here and do a status report. Based on the status report information, we have lifecycle management style reports. We have risk summaries, issue summaries. We even have resource management in terms of we have an availability heat map to help us find out who's available and who's overloaded. More traditional like chart with capacity versus demand, things like that. And I believe this is relatively unique in the Planner premium world, having the capacity demand management like that. So that with that, I'm out of time. But to reiterate, I do want to quickly flash that one slide back up again so you can see where we came and what we saw. Let's populate it out. And so we saw all of these things. We have the PMA chat, all these sub-agents inside the plan with PMA, the Copilot agents, and then we talked about the one for Power BI. So with that, I will pass it back to Annie. We can take some Q&A.
Thanks, Brice. We'll now open the floor to questions and answers. Remember to enter your questions in the questions and answer manager at the top of your team screen. Let's see if there's any questions in the queue. I do see one. Can we request to create the status report in PowerPoint?
No, again, the two different ways to do the status report are either from the chat. So I would be, where's my project? Here it is. So I'd either be in the chat asking for a status report, and it gives you basically text you can cut and paste, kind of like this. Or the one that is in this format is a loop format. So you can actually see it if you go into loop. You could, maybe, I don't know, actually, I guess is the answer. Perhaps, maybe we could try that, or you could try it, but basically you could do get started and say provide in PowerPoint format. The problem is it's still going to come out as a loop, but it might give you something that would look somewhat PowerPoint cut and pasteable, but it does end up delivering it in a loop format, which is basically a document. So I think the answer is probably not directly into a PowerPoint. Any other ones?
I don't see any more questions in the queue, and we are running a little bit over, so let's wrap it up here.
Okay, so
folks, how do you get started? At Pragility, our team has worked extensively with the technologies and solutions outlined today, ranging from Planner Premium to Planner Power App to Pragility's Hammerhead PowerPro Accelerator, built exclusively on this platform. We can help you evaluate your options for AI-powered project management, build an execution plan, and move forward on that with a team of experts that will be there for you after the initial deployment. If you'd like to talk about your specific situation, use cases you have, and brainstorm options, or dig deeper into some of the tech you saw today, please do reach out. We'll set up a call to review your current environment, send over an assessment to provide a tailored approach and licensing recommendations to make this transition as smooth as possible. AI provides an amazing opportunity for you to truly automate and improve your project management processes. Let's connect and get you on the right path forward. We would greatly appreciate your feedback to influence future sessions like these. The first 3 people to complete the survey will win a Hammerhead plushie. Your voice matters, so help us make these sessions more valuable to you. And I also pasted it in the chat, and we'll follow up with that link as well. Thank you again for joining our webinar today. We appreciate your time and look forward to seeing you online for our next session. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.